Live from the Channels Television Global Headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria, you're watching Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu, and today our focus would be on the northwestern region. But before we get into most of the news coming in from that region, let's have a snippet of our top stories making rounds at the moment. The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, has held its second Nigeria Spokesperson Summit. The summit, designed to empower communication professionals with the tools to craft compelling messages, manage public expectations, and shape narratives that promote good governance, economic progress, and national unity, took place in Abuja, Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory. Chairman of the occasion and Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, told the audience that the siting of a UNESCO Freedom of Information Literacy Institute will help curb fake news, while also noting that it is vital for spokespersons to earn the trust of Nigerians.
I want to seize the opportunity of this summit of fellow professionals to draw our attention to the need to press up and embrace what is called the media information literacy, a composite concept first adopted by the United Nations UNESCO in 2008, and which combines the competencies of information literacy and media literacy together. Today, in a world where everyone is a spokesperson, whether a PR practitioner or a chief executive in the public and private spaces, it is imperative for the media to be ever more present as it equips individuals with the tools to decipher, analyze, and evaluate messages conveyed through various media channels, enabling the latitude to make informed decisions and engage with media content responsibly. Very lately, due to lack of media literacy in this country, especially the inability to analyze and contextualize media content in order to verify authenticity, public officers and indeed the general public have become prone to the cankerworm of fake news, misinformation, and disinformation. I will give you a story. While I was at UNESCO discussing the menace of fake news with the Assistant Director General for Information and Communication at UNESCO headquarters in Paris only a few days ago, someone sent me a clip of something that was already going viral in Nigeria. Initially, I thought it was only one of those things that you see. But before I left UNESCO premises, an irony, I had gone there to discuss fake news and its impact, its ability to create serious problem for any society. I was, at that time, also receiving my own share of what fake news could do. What began as a very simple commentary by the official spokesperson of government was turned on its head, and then I saw something else emerging. Not even the clarification by my own office to ensure that people get the right messaging and to inform that this was actually what was put out. No one wanted to listen. This tells you what fake news, disinformation can do, even to very senior people in government.
We begin in Kano State and with legal matters, as the Federal High Court in the state has adjourned a suit seeking to halt allocations to the 44 local governments to May 26, 2025. The suit, filed by APC chieftains, challenges the legitimacy of the councils, claiming they were not democratically elected as required by the Constitution. Justice Simon Amobeba admitted 4 new parties into the case, including NULGE, NUT, health workers, and the elected chairman. The applicants want the courts to stop the federal government, CBN, and others from disbursing funds to the local government areas. Still in Kano State, the State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission has accused some high-level public institutions of shielding corrupt individuals from facing justice. The chairman of the commission, Muhuyi Magaji, made the allegation stating that certain corrupt persons have been receiving protection from security agencies, preventing them from attending court sessions and facing trial. Despite these challenges, the anti-graft agency says it has recorded significant successes in its fight against corruption in the state.
Some public institutions, especially at high level, are preventing people suspected of committing crime or corruption against the Kano government to attend to court sittings. They have been given adequate protection. They have been provided with adequate security so that the institution of Kano State government apparatus, that we have Kano State anti-corruption here, we have Ministry of Justice, we have Kano State Judiciary. Some people, if they are coming to Kano, they will come with a regalia of security as if they are coming to war, so that the Kano State government or the institution of authority in the state government will not dare to impose the Kano State laws against them.
The commission had come under vicious attack by those people who are undermining any transparent or any accountable system. So they need public support. And that is why CISLA will continue to provide this support and encourage the people not only in the state but also across the country and globally to continue to support the effort of the Commission in terms of ensuring that it actually helps to deal with issues of corruption.
Now to the health sector. The need for the federal government to ensure continuous funding for cancer research has been identified as a key way of fighting cancer in the country. This is one of the positions put forward at the Northwest Zonal Workshop on Cancer Research and Treatment, which took place in Kano. The National Institute for Cancer Research and Treatment had put together the event to foster collaboration and show recent developments in the field. Our correspondent, Nanchin Vincent, reports.
The treatment of cancer has continued to evolve, with research in developed countries focusing on early detection, genetic markers, and personalized treatment approaches for various cancer types. In a bid to foster collaboration and show recent development in the field, the National Institute for Cancer Research and Treatment has brought together experts from the health profession to Kano for a Northwest Zonal Cancer Research and Capacity Building Workshop. Interactive sessions tackled challenges in cancer care delivery in the country, research, funding, and treatment planning. An oncologist at the workshop notes that the capacity building workshop will strengthen actionable insights and improve patient insights.
The overarching goal is to see how in the long run we can reduce the burden of cancers in Nigeria. There are many ways or many aspects that has to come together to reduce the burden of cancer in Nigeria, and one of it is cancer research. And for cancer research to have an impact, you have to build capacity for cancer research.
Participants are hopeful that networking among researchers and practitioners will contribute to cancer science.
Until now, even in the best of settings, we are still trying to play catch-up. And the best way to understand how to reduce this incidence and also cure the disease is by answering those questions that have still been unanswered. And there is no better way to do this other than research.
It's with research that we even try to see the causes of these cancers, to see what things pose these patients at risk of developing these cancers, as well as see treatment options and all other innovations.
Dr. Ahmed Abdurrahman notes that the federal government's continuous funding for research will go a long way in fighting cancer.
If the government will continue with the effort it has already started putting in place, I'm very sure we will get somewhere. A lot has been invested. It's just to keep the places running. Training and retraining cannot be overemphasized.
This gathering serves as an avenue to ensure that the fight against cancer is fought vigorously through innovation and collaboration. From Kano Commercial City, Nanchin Vincent, Channels Television News.
Staying with health matters, and this time in Katsina State, where a multi-year work plan has been signed between the state government and UNICEF, aimed at ensuring a brighter future for every child. The 3-year work plan, tagged UNICEF Katsina State Multi-Year Work Plan for 2025 to 2027, covers the critical areas of health, nutrition, education, child protection, water sanitation and hygiene, as well as social policy. The signing of this work plan therefore demonstrates UNICEF's continuing collaboration and strong partnership with the Katsina State government.
In February this year, a team from the United Nations Children's Fund Agency, UNICEF, was in Katsina State to officially hand over the Gavi UNICEF PHC program to the state government. This collaboration with the development partners is said to have yielded remarkable results, particularly in enhancing immunization outcomes. Barely 2 months after, the UNICEF team is back in the States for yet another partnership, this time on the multi-year work plan for 2025 to 2027, covering critical areas of health, nutrition, education, child protection, as well as water sanitation and hygiene, known as WASH.
Katsina State, under your leadership, is already demonstrated that innovative approach through the Hadaka MSH track in the health sectors. This innovation will not only help to bridge the funding gaps occasioned by donors supported intervention, but put Katsina State in the driving seat of the state development imperatives.
Dr. Sayom Deres expresses concern about the rising cases of polio virus, which he describes as a significant threat to children's health, stressing the need to make eradicating polio in 2025 top priority.
The polio virus remains a significant threat to the children's health in the Katsina State. Eradication polio must be our top priority in 2025. We must dedicate all our efforts, resources to mobilize communities, raising awareness and ensuring that every corner of Katsina is reached so that parents are encouraged to vaccinate their children.
In his response, the Katsina State Governor Diko Rada restates the commitment of his administration to continue working closely with the UNICEF, development partners and other stakeholders to ensure successful implementation of the shared goals.
And I would like to assure you of the Katsina State commitment to making sure that they provide resources as counterpart funding to ensure that we achieve the result we desire in our state to make life easy for our people. What you are doing, you are just supporting us. This is a function that we are supposed to do ourselves with our resources and with our commitment. When we get this kind of support and commitment, the only way we show appreciation is to ensure that it works well, and we have done all the obligations on our side.
The goal is to build resilient systems that are less dependent on external funding and more responsive to the needs of the people.
Staying in Katsina State, but this time with education, the state government has unveiled strategic reforms aimed at overhauling the state's educational system and improving standards in public schools across the state. These reforms will ensure that every school operates under the same structure, thereby eliminating the disorganization previously caused by individual school-based practices. The State Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Honorable Zainab Musawa, disclosed this in an interactive session with a cross-section of journalists at her office in the State Secretariat Complex, Katsina. Honorable Musawa further announced the launch of the state's first digital student registration system, where each student will be issued a unique identification number containing their full academic and health records from primary to secondary school. She explained that the state government has introduced modern technology in its school monitoring system as part of efforts to improve supervision, where over 300 computer devices have been distributed for real-time reporting from schools to the ministry.
We have different levels and chains of monitoring mechanisms, but we introduced a software, an application, so that we can have an automated monitoring mechanism that can be uploaded instead of waiting and writing reports. That slows down the system. At the same time, the zonal offices are doing a different type of monitoring, while at the State Ministry of Education, we are doing a non-time, no-bound monitoring system where at any point in time, any leader or director or head of agency can access a school and can monitor and check the number of students in classes, number of pupils, curriculum implementation, and also discipline of both teachers and students at any point in time. This is the booklet, and the details of this is only what is taken at the census level. At this level, we are now going to include data of students, individual data of students. So it is the federal criteria for census, and at the same time the state criteria for census, which is going to fill up our state education management information system.
Women in politics in northern Nigeria have been urged to break the barriers of religious and traditional misinterpretation and deep-seated stereotypes and ensure they stand with one another and speak with the authentic voice that will earn them the right to be in leadership positions. The Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Dr. Hadiza Balarabe, who gave the charge, laments the unique challenges women in politics in the northern region are facing, including a triple burden of proving their competence, defending their presence, and overcoming entrenched biases. She spoke at a conference for all elected and appointed female officials in Kaduna State with the theme, Leading with Impact for the Kaduna State Elected Female Officials on Inclusive and Transformational Governance, organized by the Office of the Majority Leader of the Kaduna State House of Assembly.
Behind every successful female leader...
Historically, the Nigerian political scene had been dominated by men, a situation that led to continuous advocacy by pro-women groups for a better deal in political and government affairs. In the northern region, women's representation in politics is significantly poor compared to their southern counterparts, largely influenced by a complex interplay of traditional, religious, party, and personal factors.
It is a call to action.
This conference, organized by the only female majority leader of the Kaduna State House of Assembly, has in attendance female councillors, commissioners, heads of government agencies, as well as the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Hadiza Balarabe. The conference is aimed at reawakening the consciousness of women, as well as advance a more equitable democracy where leadership talent is recognized and nurtured regardless of gender.
We convene to strengthen our capacity as elected female leaders to deliver inclusive and transformational governance to our communities. This workshop, themed Leading with Impact, is designed to equip us with the tools, knowledge, and strategies necessary to overcome the unique challenges we face as women in leadership and to harness our distinctive strength to effect positive change.
We are here to rub minds. We are here to interact, to get to know how do we go about this in making sure that women participation in politics is in the increase.
Despite the challenges militating against women's political participation in northern Nigeria, there have been women, like the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, who shattered the boundaries to assert their leadership. As the only female Deputy Governor in the entire northern region, she comes with a message of hope and resilience, urging women not to give up in pursuing their dreams in politics and desist from the pull-her-down mentality.
Our paths to leadership positions are marked by some invisible obstacles, like they keep questioning
family commitments. Most of the time they ask you questions like, how do you cope with family and career? They never ask the men, because they're supposed to raise the family together, right? But it's the women that they ask. So they ask us first, they keep questioning our family commitments. They have doubts about our resilience, and sometimes even have assumptions about our capacities.
Although the Kaduna State Governor, Ubasani, has shown his regards for gender mainstreaming by appointing a woman as his deputy, as well as putting many women in strategic positions, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly underscores what he believes are the challenges slowing down female participation in politics and how they can overcome the challenges.
Nothing like the sponsoring or supporting a certain percentage for women to be in politics. We encourage them, but we can't just set aside a certain percentage to say this is for women. Let them be together. What man can do and woman can do better. So let's join hands and see how we're going to struggle together.
For these women who have proven themselves intellectually and politically, there's a need for more awareness on the importance of breaking the barriers of conservative norms and cultures that limit women participation in politics, especially in the northern region.
The wife of the governor of Kebbi State, Nafisa Idris, has commended members of the Igbo community for their continued contributions to the growth and development of the state. Mrs. Idris made the remarks shortly after being conferred with the prestigious traditional title of Nadibumma, meaning generally accepted mother of the Igbos, by the Igbo community in Birnin, Kebbi.
The colorful conferment ceremony, filled with vibrant Igbo cultural displays, was organized by the women's wing of the Igbo community in Kebbi. According to the organizers, the award is in recognition of the consistent support for women and children by the wife of Governor of Kebbi State, as well as the inclusive policies of her husband, Governor Nasir Idris, towards all communities in the state. The special advisor to the governor on media and publicity highlights Governor Idris' commitments to infrastructural and socio-economic development across the state. On her part, the awardee assures the Igbo women community of her continued support as she pledges that her humanitarian initiatives will continue to include members of the Igbo community in Kebbi. She also expressed gratitude for the peaceful coexistence between the Igbo and the people of the state, describing Kebbi as a true example of peace and tolerance.
I wish to call on Igbo community to feel at home. As Kebbi is the land equity, where everybody's right will be respected, I feel to you to be law-abiding within your host community.
Chairperson of the Igbo Women Community Development Association commends the governor's wife for her compassion and visible impact on the society.
She's actually a strong woman behind our amiable governor, Malam Nasir. She is a strong pillar that is supporting the husband. It's because of their contribution to get the state. That is why we decided to give her this honor.
The event highlights the strong bonds and harmonious relationship between the Igbo community and the people of Kebbi State.
And that's where we draw the curtains on this edition of Newsroom series. I'm Dominic. Enjoy the rest of your day.